without running the workshop. We run it religiously twice a week, every Tuesday night, every Saturday morning. That's all we do. All the guests sit in the workshop, and we've had some incredible stories. We actually had a lady that came into our workshop, I shared it this morning, 26 years old, just graduated from college with about $30,000 of debt. And I'll share it again because you were talking about Workshop 1. She came to our Workshop 1, which is increased cash flow and debt management. And we just saw her 3 weeks ago. In less than a year time, she is completely debt-free. And now she started a program saving $1,200 a month because now she's got the cash flow to save it. Not only that, her parents were so amazed with what we were able to do because of the workshop. Parents came to the workshops, rolled over their pensions, and we closed about 30,000 points there because of Workshop 1. Wow. Very powerful stuff. I had a couple come to our, I don't have a lot of time, so you can keep the clapping for the end. I had a couple came into our workshop about 3-4 months ago, and they sat through our workshop, and after the workshops were done, we realized they had won the lottery, right? And they said there's 5 advisors that are looking into helping us, and for those of you guys who are in Canada, Investors Group and all those guys were after them, and she said the 5 people that came and sat with us and talked about us being their client, nobody was able to share what you guys shared with us. And we understand what you're talking about, and we want to put our money somewhere where we understand. And we managed to get them on board, and we literally just got the confirmation. Everything is settled. We closed almost 80,000 points, right? One family, because of the workshops. So I'm a huge believer of the workshops and what they do. I mean, think about this. I'm only 31 years old. Anybody who's 30, 31, listen, your mother-in-law does not want you to be a life insurance agent. Right? Coach said that in a couple of conventions ago in Las Vegas, and it's so true. My mother-in-law does not want me to be a life insurance agent, but there's an honor in educating. You know, education is probably the most honorable job that you can have, especially financial education. You guys agree? No, especially financial education. Just to share with you guys a story, I have a lady up here, Eileen, where are you? Where's Eileen? Eileen's actually been, she just started with us, Eileen and Tim, she just got her license in May. A couple of weeks into May, she just got her license. She makes a high 6-figure income, manager at one of the highest cosmetic clinics in Toronto downtown. In the past 2 months, because of the workshops, that's all we do, she's done 21 recruits, 50,000 points. She has 5 licensed advisors, agents under her already in the last 2 months because of the fact that all we do is invite people for the workshops, and that's all we do. Workshop is all we do, Coach. Workshop is all we do. I had a Primerica couple come into our workshop 2 weeks ago. She's been with Primerica 2 years, RVP, and she came on board, brought her license over, and she's already transferred 4 licensed agents from Primerica into our organization because of the workshops.
Awesome.
Right? So these are all the success stories that we have. So I tell you, run with the workshops because there's nothing more powerful than the workshops, right? So I don't know if you want to, 30 seconds, you want to talk a little bit about.
So really there's no such thing as a formula for this business except this one, the heart and your will to provide financial literacy and to make a big difference to all Canadians, all Americans, all over the world. Make a change, provide financial literacy, and we're fighting for a cause, so we should keep on doing this because I believe that, as what Coach Swan has said, if you believe in what you're fighting for, there's no doubt you're going to be successful.
Good job. Awesome. Okay, and, can I have Karen come up here first? Because we just have pho over. We have pho. We talk about Vietnamese Blue Book. Just kidding. No, but I mean, you told me some amazing story during lunch today, just like an hour ago. You know, can you share with them about what's happening with you right now and your team?
Yes. Hey, good afternoon, WSB. I'm so excited. The workshop has been incredible. It's been making so much impact on the people that comes through. I just want to share a couple of stories, actually. There's this one girl, she's 32 years old, really young, but she's actually had health problems for as long as she can remember. She has a failing kidney, and she goes to dialysis twice a week. And what happened was we hosted an industry night, financial literacy night, where we got a lot of healthcare people and a lot of people in the medical industry to come and talk about healthcare. And I met this girl and I invited her to the workshop. She went through all of our workshops, and after she was finished, she was like, "My goodness, Karen, this was what I've been waiting for. This was what this is the environment that I've been searching for my whole life." And on top of that, she shared with me that she's someone that just kind of thinks about today because her health was never good. She wanted to enjoy her life, and she never thought about tomorrow or planning. But after the workshop, after sitting down with us, she's actually saving $1,500 a month with us. And on top of that, she became a member, and she's in the business with us as well because she wants to share the same thing. I also have another gentleman who's been a client with us for some time, and we've been trying to get a client review with him for a long time. And finally, we got a hold of him. We got him to come to the workshop, and he admitted to us that the reason why he hasn't been seeing us was because he got into a bit of gambling issues. But after going through all the workshops, he came up to me and he's like, "Karen, we put a plan together for him, and he's now saving $2,000 a month."
Wow.
Yes, with us. So it's just been incredible. And on top of that, when we first started the workshops, we invited so many people. And even though nothing happened immediately for some people, but what happened was, you guys know Vancouver, house rich, cash poor, right? So there was a bunch of baby boomers that came through our workshop last year. And all of a sudden, one by one, there was 4 couples over the last couple months that gave us a call, and they're like, "Hey, we're ready to actually think about retirement." So all of a sudden, there was a whole bunch of money, and out of that, it was a $1.5 million of new investment money that came in.
In just the last how long?
3 months. In the last 3 months.
$1.5 million in the last 3 months because of workshop.
Yeah.
And then so just overall, your number, your base shop.
Our base shop number after Green Jacket Run, I think that it's definitely very up and down, up and down. I think what our team was really, really good at was running for whether it was a contest or whatnot, but we weren't able to do anything consistent. But after Giants program and really clicking in, I went back to focusing on personal. So over the last couple months, I've done level 1 personal consistently and got up to level 2 as well. And what I find is the team is following along. So instead of running a $20,000 to $30,000 base shop, we've been averaging about 50K now, and finally going back to double-digit recruiting over the last couple of months. So I'm so excited. Man, workshop has been incredible. Our financial literacy campaign, I'm so excited for the future. So
good job, awesome. Okay. So those are just some of the story I know, but for the rest of you, if you could just give just the 1 to 2 bullet point about.
Okay, sorry. So my name is Deetra Dixon. I'm a single parent. I have 5 sons. And currently what I'm doing with our educational campaign is I sit on 13 committees at my kids' school. I have 3 schools, well 4. I lost 1 this year because my son graduated. I'm on the PTA, the SAC, and the SAF. So all of the time, these community groups and organizations are always looking for free information and free resources. So I'm able to show them that we have the workshops, where the workshops are, and that it's open to the public and providing this information. They also often need guest speakers to come in for different topics, so I'm working around that way to provide the information for our workshops for that. It's a lot of grunt work, but I personally like to do a lot of community organization. I've always been a mentor, a volunteer, community service, and doing it this way with the workshops is really helpful. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so I've been living the mission and the passion and the vision of this business through myself. So I'm going to show you the last picture that I took that now everybody wants to know, what's this workshop thing you're doing? I don't care about things or possessions. I never have. That's never been my thing. So I don't understand it, but some people do. So when I showed them this picture, everybody wants to know, what are we doing? What is that thing you're doing? because this man makes lots of money and my children are standing there. We all can have this for us. It's not something far removed. It's right there. All we got to do is reach out and grab it. Thank you.
Gary, I know you have an incredible story. You were able to get into some universities, some colleges. Elmo, please.
Hey, good afternoon, WSB Giants. All right. So, hey, I'm very excited. My name is Gary Yip from Jimmy Carter Financial Center. One of the things that I know our office, we actually have 3 workshops every week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But one thing I'm very, very excited that I actually graduated from Mercer in Atlanta. And that's why I met my wife too, so I'm very connected with that. And but one thing is that it took me about 6 to 8 months actually go in and start try to find out who I need to talk to at the university so we can share about the workshop and the Blue Book. So about 3 months ago, we actually find the director of executive program, share with him the Blue Book, and also I say, hey, we also have the workshop book. We don't, we have everything in place already, and he's very impressed. One thing is that, hey, a lot of students actually ask us, how can we get rid of our student loans? And Mercer is a private university. Right now, the tuition is about $35,000 a year, without room and board. So by said and done, it's about $45,000 to $46,000 a year. So 4 years, about what? Almost $200 to $220. And if they graduate in 4 years, right? But right now, average is about 5.5 years. So what happened is that they're very excited. So I actually share with them about the workshop that we have, and he said, okay. So it took about 3 months for him to go through the president, the alumni board, and everything else. And actually, March we got approval on doing the workshop over there. But it took another 2 months to have him put it on the schedule. So keep going, yeah. So this is actually, I said, hey, our workshop actually is complimentary. We don't have to charge anything. But he insists that we charge $25. I said, okay, just minimum $25 to cover our book. But also I said, hey, with the $25, I'm not actually going to collect the $25. Let me just donate back to the school. Okay, so I said, hey, keep it back, put it in there. So with that, he also offered breakfast for the participant. Okay, I was surprised too. But all right, this is actually before we started. We actually used one of the classroom, and we set it up in there. And this is actually the director was introducing us at the workshop. All right, and this is some of the, actually in this workshop, I'm not the only one. We actually have, this time we have Tane, we have David Pham, and Becky, and also Delitha, and myself doing all 5 workshops. We did all 5 workshops. It's 2 Friday morning from 9 to 12. He said that's the best time for people can have an opportunity to come here. And actually he said some of the employees might have an opportunity to come here too because it's a certificate. He actually make it a certificate program. So at the end, they actually give us a kind of like a diploma-sized certificate. All right, so actually, all right, so I actually have a binder with that. And he actually have I just take a shot of that. And they actually put WSB and WFG on the certificate.
Wow.
And then whoever finished that, it's a personal financial certificate. And I said, hey, the student have it, how about the instructor? So he actually did an instructor of personal financial certificate for us. So, okay. So.
Good job.
But I know we're going to actually schedule another one in September, and 2 Friday, because now because it's summer, a lot of students still out of school. So we're going to have another workshop starting in September for all the students and maybe some of the faculty. And one last thing is that he's going to help us to ask some of the professors in some of the finance class and some other classes. Let us maybe go in the first 5 to 10 minutes to share about our workshop and potentially maybe give some students, if they attended the workshop, an extra credit for the classes.
All right.
Okay, so I'm very excited with this. All right?
Short, sorry. Good afternoon. My name is Marie Monsalve from Rancho Cucamonga. And I wanted to just share quickly some of the success that we're having with workshops. We've been able to get into the City of Commerce out in California. And this has been just a labor of love, from working with the mayor to bringing the workshop to over 45 people. And they've been going through all of the workshops 1 through 5. And we're excited about it because we're doing it in English as well as in Spanish. So for me, that's a big deal because we have a lot of Latinos in the Los Angeles area. And so to be able to provide this workshop in both languages is a big deal. We've also been able to get into the Moreno Valley Library, which is on the other side of the IE. And that's a big deal for me because I've been trying, Coach, for 3 years to get into helping these teenagers there. But we haven't had a tool prior to the workshop and prior to the Blue Book. And so now we've been asked to come back and not only teach the teenagers, but the adults about how to get out of debt, how to save money, how to put into place the things that this community needs. The last thing I want to share is something that, you talk about a labor of love and a cause. Before I came to WFG over almost 10 years ago, I used to work for a crisis pregnancy center, and there was a day about 2 months ago where Coach shared on a webinar, what is your passion? What are you fired up about? What moves you? Because that is what's going to keep you in this business, and that is going to keep you sharing our cause and our mission. Well, when I worked for a crisis pregnancy center, one of the things I understood was that poverty is the reason why women choose the things that they do. And